Guys, back then when I started learning animation, I believed something very simple. The better I draw, the better artist I become. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you believe that too. Work more, get better, right? But that's actually not the full picture, because a lot of artists don't struggle because of skill, they struggle because of how they think. You can practice every day, you can learn to draw this and that, and watch all of these millions of tutorials. But at the end of the day, you can still feel stuck. Not because you're not working hard, but because of a few patterns most artists fall into. So today, we are not learning how to draw. We're going to talk about the 5 mistakes that you as an artist are making. The mental edition. Those are silent beginning of progress. Let's begin. The first mistake that I see artists making, which quite honestly I have done a lot myself, is constantly comparing themselves to the other artists. Especially with social media, it's almost unavoidable now. You open Instagram and see someone your age or even younger doing amazing work, getting thousands of likes, growing fast, and your brain just goes, yeah, I'm not there yet. If that actually keeps happening, it starts to mess with you. You begin to doubt your work, your progress, and sometimes even yourself. Now the thing is, I still compare myself to others, and that hasn't changed yet. But what I did learn is how to turn that into something good. Now when I see someone better, I just try to break it down. What exactly are they doing well? Is it their fundamentals? Someone like Glenn Keane, whose fundamental knowledge is next level. Is it their design? Robert Valley, for example? His style is so unique and different. Because comparison itself is not a problem, guys. You will always compare yourself to the other. This is how it works. And this becomes even more important if you're serious about getting into the entertainment industry. Because this next mistake is where a lot of artists lose the direction, even without realizing it. A lot of people start learning art. They're really excited, they're motivated, but the moment they don't see fast results, they assume something's wrong. The second mistake, and it's actually a big one, it's quitting too early. The truth is, progress is slow, not just in art, but in anything you learn. Well, think about it. A baby doesn't learn how to speak in a day, or a month, or even a year. You don't start learning today and become an Olympic athlete the next year, right? But somehow with art, we expect that kind of speed. My gosh, people, just why? Why? If I look at my own work, my improvement didn't happen in a week or a month. Obviously, I'm nowhere near perfect, but this is what my figure drawing looks like in 2017, this one in 2018, and this is me now. The difference only exists because I never ever stopped. Most people don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they don't stay long enough to get good. Something that keeps you motivated and in the learning loop is getting consistent feedback with proper guidance. Most people quit because they have no idea on what to work on or where do they even begin. So this is where the one-on-one mentorship really comes. At drawingforce.com, we offer unparalleled guidance where your mentor meets you once a week for 1 hour and solely focuses on you and you only. And our mentorship comes with a lot of perks. Check out the first link in the description. Progress in art is not linear. It's slow, sometimes even invisible, and honestly, sometimes really frustrating. But it compounds. And if you keep quitting every time it feels slow, you will never reach the point where things starts clicking. But let's say you don't quit. You keep showing up. But there's still a lot of time you can waste if you're not careful enough. This one is a bit tricky because it can be misunderstood. I'm not talking about things like thumbnails or, adding references before drawing. Well, that's obviously important, but I'm talking about something else. So let's say you're drawing your favorite Pokemon. You took the picture from the internet and try to copy it as close as possible. And at the moment, it does feel productive. But if you look closely, a lot of that practice actually becomes very passive, where you're looking at something and then you're trying to replicate it as closely as possible. And if you keep doing that without thinking, you can get really good at copying though, but not necessarily at creating. At that point, it's almost like a photocopier. You might even build a following doing this because the drawings look nice. But remember, having a big following does not always equal skill. Because at the end of the day, if your goal is to work in animation, games, films, any kind of entertainment industry, you're not hired to copy what already exists, but to design, to think, to solve visual problems. And that only comes from intentional practice. not just by doing more drawings, but knowing why are you doing them. So, now you're comparing yourself less, you've got a plan. Everything should be working, right? Yeah, but another mistake that I see a lot of people making is avoiding the discomfort. The reality is, nothing improves without discomfort. Well, you're not saying the more headache you have, the better artist you are? Maybe? Learning doesn't happen when things feel easy. It happens when things feel a little frustrating. Think about it. You don't learn to ride a bike without falling. You don't learn to write without messing up the pages. And you don't learn swimming by watching videos. At some point, you have to get into the water, struggle a little, and feel uncomfortable. Well, art, it's exactly the same. You can watch all the tutorials you want. You can stay in your comfort zone. But you won't really improve until you start struggling a little bit. The moment where something isn't working, that's where the learning actually begins. And most people avoid that moment. They switch subjects and they go back to something easier, or they stop too soon. But if you want to get better, you have to get used to that discomfort. Because you don't reach a good drawing in one shot. It comes from repetition. Trying again, failing again, adjusting, and slowly getting better. Even if you start pushing into these uncomfortable areas, but there's still one problem, and you might not even realize that you're doing this. Now tell me, when is the last time you took feedback on your work? A lot of artists just don't take feedback seriously. Either they don't ask for it at all, or they do get it and kind of ignore it. And I get it. It can feel a little uncomfortable. Sometimes it feels like someone is pointing out everything what's wrong with your work. And it almost feels personal. But if you look at it differently, feedback is actually one of the fastest way to improve. And that's the reason why you pay someone to learn. Because instead of spending weeks, months, or even years without finding out your own mistake, someone just tells you. On our Force Drawing YouTube channel, for example, we've got 270 plus hours of content. Every single day, roughly 720 hours of our tutorials are being uploaded online. Let me repeat it, 720 hours every single day. Just think about that for a second. 720 hours is equal to about, how much it is? Well, it is equal to about 34 days. Just so you don't know. Now, of course, not all feedback is useful, and that's really where the right guidance comes into place. Head over to our website, drawingforce.com. We've got one-on-one mentorships, memberships, courses, brushbacks, our very own lush Discord community, and so much more. So if you're someone who's serious about improving, check it out. The link is in the description. Even with the right feedback, it only works if you're actually open to it. The artists who improve the fastest are the ones who are willing to hear what they don't want to hear and actually use it. There's a lot of mistakes that artists are making, and these are just a few of them. Check out 5 more mistakes that you or your artist friend might be making right here. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so it helps us to make more videos like these. With that said, I'm Nitin Javer, signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.